Alright, so this is where I'm doing my little lighting tutorial for you guys. I'm going to be sitting right there. If I show you back here, there's my lamp set up for a backlight. So this lamp is pointing at my setup over there. A little practical light on the table, plus Christmas lights over there. And on the screen, I've got what I can see from the camera projected onto the screen so that I can see it from the chair where I'm sitting. This is a reflective board that I've set up here to give a little bit of fill light. And then over here is a clamp light from Home Depot. So this is some white fabric that I've just put around it for diffusion, but the light itself just looks like this. So clamped onto the table, nice and simple. So this was about 20 bucks from Home Depot. And the bulb that I've put in here is 5000 K and 60 watt equivalent. So here it is, daylight balanced. Gives a little thing here on the side. So this is the kind of bulb that you want if you're ever getting this type of thing. And I've put the same type of bulb in that lamp right there. Alright, so I've been talking to you guys about how I wanted to do a lighting tutorial, and finally I've got around to it. So I've got no students in the classroom right now, so I figured, you know what, I'll set up the camera and I'll just play around with a few things and see what I can come up with. So I think I told all the classes that I brought in a bunch of lamps that I just kind of gathered from around my house. We moved a few years ago and we've got a bunch of stuff in storage, so I went through there and I just took some stuff that I could bring to the classroom and kind of play around with. So this is my tutorial for you guys to show you what you can do by being a little bit more intentional with your lighting. So right now, so first of all, I should tell you that I'm talking through the mic in the camera, which you can probably hear, but this is what it sounds like using a lav mic that's taped underneath my shirt and going into my smartphone. So hopefully we're getting much better audio. I can't monitor it at the same time, so I don't know for sure, but let's hope this works out. So this shot that you're looking at right now is just all the fluorescent lights on in the classroom. There's lots of light, for sure, but it's boring. You can see I've got shadows underneath my eyes here because there's a fluorescent light right over my head. It's just kind of flat and kind of blah, spread all over the place. So now, let's see what it looks like with some lights set up. So here we go with intentional lighting. So this is the exact same setup as before, but with more intentional lighting. So what I've got here is two practical lights behind me. Over here, I've got a Home Depot clamp light. Right here, I've got one of those white pieces of cardboard set up to reflect a little bit, to have a little bit of fill light here. And then behind me, right there, I've got a backlight, giving me a little bit of rim light here and here, which I think looks a little bit nicer. So I'm going to just show you a couple different varieties of how this could look. So right now I've got sort of a standard 3-point lighting setup. This is my key light, giving me lots of light here. This reflector is functioning as a fill light to give me a little bit of fill on this side of my face. And then back there is my backlight to separate me from the background a little bit. So let's see what I can change up. First of all, I'm going to get rid of my reflector, and we'll see how that looks. Okay, so that's with no reflector, so it's a little bit darker on this side of my face. It's a little bit more of a dramatic look. It's kind of cool. I kind of like it. So now I'm going to get rid of the backlight, and we'll see how that looks. So that's without the backlight. I don't like it as much. I like that there was a little bit of glow here. I thought that looked kind of cool. And so I'm going to put the backlight back on, and then I'm going to get rid of the diffusion on my key light and see how that looks. Okay, so that's without diffusion. Obviously, it's a little bit more of a harsh light, but kind of looks cool as well. And I'll bring the reflector back in. So that's kind of cool as well. I definitely like it better with the backlight. I think I like it better with the diffusion on the light, but I don't know, just different varieties of how this can look. Anyways, this is my simple lighting setup in the classroom that I think looks a lot more cinematic and just kind of shows you what you can do with this stuff if you play around with it a little bit and you're a little bit more intentional with your lighting.